Welcome to the D-VELO-P Cycling Training Podcast, where we untangle the complexities of peak performance in cycling. My name is Fredrik Eriksson, and together with my partner in crime, Erik Åkesson, we are the dorky coaching duo who will be your hosts. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of our cycling training podcast from us here at D-VELO-P Cycling. My name is Fredrik.
And my name is Eric, and today we're going to talk about a subject that is, I believe everybody maybe suffer from it, but no one really knows what it is. And that is an acronym that we call phony. And can you tell us what phony is, Fredrik?
It's almost like FOMO, which is fear of missing out, but this phony is fear of not enough yield. And simply put, it's the fear of feeling that you're not doing enough or adapting enough to other people, the fear of not doing the things you're supposed to do or think you're supposed to.
Exactly. And yield in this case is like the perceived return on the investment of time and energy that we give. So for us cyclists, that we perceive that we get a specific return from the training and the hours and intensity that we put in, and that is the yield. It's like the proof that we are improving in what we do.
And I think social media has amplified this fear quite a lot, because everything we do nowadays, it's either on Strava when it comes to our training, or if you go to your professional life or your personal life, it might show up on LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever, and you see everybody else's what they're doing and how they are rewarded and so on, which amplifies and makes it easier to fall into this trap of wanting to do enough and always wanting to do more.
And I believe that media like Strava can be very good for motivations at some point to do the work that you need to do, but it can be very bad at some points as well, that you maybe do more than necessary and actually develop a bad pattern in what you do and how you do it, just for getting that kudos from your friends and people that follow you.
And on top of that, I think a lot of people feel negative emotions like anxiety or stress, that they aren't doing enough. So first you have the doing a little bit too much, and then you have the stress, the negative emotions about it as well. And I think a lot of people kind of feel, and that's why I think the acronym phony is good, is because you kind of feel like a phony if you don't do enough. And that's what this is all about.
Yeah, exactly. And the fear of not doing enough, it can be represented in so many ways. It can, for example, be if you have a free weekend, that you feel like you only do a 1 hour or 90 minutes interval session, when you actually had the time to do a 5-hour endurance ride. And you feel bad about not doing the 5-hour endurance ride, and not feel good that you did an hour 30 minutes of intensity, because the 5-hour ride can feel that you have done more, and maybe give you more pleasure in form of kudos from your Strava followers. But in reality, your physiology may be better off with that 90 minutes intensity and then the recovery from it.
Yeah, and vice versa. The person who actually does the work, when it's just to rack up those extra miles, to get those extra training stress score points, or whatever. And you rack up a lot of junk miles that doesn't do you any good. Maybe that feels good. You don't get the stress because you kind of dampen your phony response, your fear of not doing enough. But on the other hand, when you do that, it has a negative impact on your physiology instead.
Yeah, we've all been there. That it's hard to turn off your head unit at 99 kilometers instead of doing 3 laps around the block to 100 or 101. And that extra 1 kilometer doesn't do anything for your physiology, but everything for the mental or the mentality, uh, just for this yield, so to speak.
Yeah, and sometimes I think that can be a positive thing. Yeah, that you feel, because that extra kilometer is not going to do you any harm either, and you feel good about yourself doing it. But when you start feeling bad about yourself if you don't do it, that's when this whole phony thing comes in. If you just do it because it's cool and you want to round the number for the heck of it, then it's kind of fine. But when you do it out of fear of not doing enough, then it is a little bit problematic. So it's a really fine line between when things like that are positive and when they might have a negative effect on your life as an athlete and in person in general.
Exactly. And the other another example is like what kind of training you do. If a mountain biker, for example, goes out on a maybe physiologically easier day doing technical skills training, and then sees two buddies ride up the hill in hill efforts, and you see them, oh, they're so good doing hill efforts, and I'm here just taking it easy doing skills training, and you feel like the technical training isn't worth as much as the hill intervals. So you compare two completely different sessions with each other, and the what do you say? The technical training isn't supposed to be physiologically hard, but is improving you in many other ways that the hill climbs doesn't.
Absolutely, and I think that kind of situation could also be even more on the edge if those two people that you meet that are going out for the hill repeats instead of doing an easier technical session kind of pressures you to do it. Come on, I mean that this is hard training. You got to put in the work or whatever,
For sure, yeah.
and then you fold because of that, and kind of or they might come on. It's fun to have company. Come with us and do this session instead, and you kind of get that you should be, of course, stick to your plan and do the easier technical session as a mountain biker, for example. But you yield to their needs for having another training buddy. So it's that kind of fear of not adapting to others as well that we're talking about here.
And fear of not adapting to others, that can be explained being more externally dominated pressure, while the fear of not doing enough can be more internally dominated, that comes from you and from the inside of doing that, rounding up the session to 100 kilometers instead of 98, or what can it be. So you have to separate the internally dominated pressure from the external dominated pressure. It can, of course, be both as well, but at the same time, but they come from two different places.
Yeah, and the term yield in these two contexts, it comes from it's used in all kinds of situations that are not sport related. I mean, talking about yield as producing enough crops or yielding results in the financial market or things like that is the typical work kind of kind of definition of yield. Whereas the adapting to others is, I mean, I think in traffic, you have the yield that you should give way to other types of traffic, that kind of road signs, or you concede an argument too easily, or you give it a possession of something, or you just fold under pressure. So yield has both these kind of definitions. And then, of course, like you mentioned earlier, then it's both internal and externally motivated. It's a little bit of both in both situations or definitions, but it's when it comes to doing enough work, it's mostly, like I said, internally dominated. You kind of see others and you feel that you're not doing enough, you're not yielding enough results or enough work. Whereas the other version is you feel that you need to adapt to other people or circumstances in some other way.
Yeah, but for high performance athletes, this mindset, so to speak, rarely just stays in the sport. So if you have phony in training, you likely have it at home or at your career job as well. For example, you stay at the office late. To it looks to others that you are a high performer, but maybe you're not producing something that makes a difference, or you overschedule your family life because you aren't yielding enough time as a parent or as a partner or something compared to what maybe we see on social media that what you should do.
Yeah, and back to social media, it's easy, and like the examples you took there, as a parent, it's really easy to kind of overschedule your children's activities, because you see that other families are doing this and that and whatnot, and actually it would be just better to chill at home, which might feel awful in the moment, but that might be exactly what your kids needs. So it's easy to get pressured into doing things, not just as an athlete, but in other roles of life, of course, as well. And I think this phony paradox also in some way has a lot of similarities to the classic imposter syndrome, where
Exactly.
you feel that you don't really deserve results unless you have put in more than enough work, or done enough, so to speak.
And this often can lead to the overtraining spiral or overtraining syndrome, that laying on your bed or in the sofa watching Netflix or whatever, wherever you want to see a show, that recoveries, that's zero yield time. That's nothing compared to 1 hour threshold session or 5 hour endurance ride, because you cannot really see your body adapting to the stress you put it through. Uh, you can't look through your body and see how the mitochondria are reproducing or growing, and you can see your glycogen stores be bigger again, like you can see, oh, I put 30 minutes this session on critical power, or I did a 100-kilometer ride. That's easy to see that you've done something, but you can't really see the adaptations you get from recovery and sleep, uh, which is why it's viewed as zero yield time.
Yeah, it would be awesome to have like a bar graph seeing yeah, your enzymes in your muscles increasing, different aerobic enzymes or your glycogen stores increasing or whatever. That would be awesome, but there's at the moment nothing like that, which makes it so abstract that, and things that are abstract is more difficult to value compared to things that are more visible and concrete, something you can see. I mean, I actually did 5 minutes at 380 watts or what you did, which is much more tangible, and of course then easier to value higher.
Exactly.
And this cycle goes, like you said, straight into the overtraining syndrome. It's easy to get push yourself, if not all the way to something like that, but overdoing training all the time, that makes you not get enough adaptations, because you're physiologically sabotaging your training regimen or your training input by doing a little bit more work compared to your recovery, or doing the wrong kind of training. You know, maybe that you need to work on sprints, but you you value threshold work more, and then you'd overdo threshold compared to your sprinting, or vice versa, of course.
And that's a easy trap to fall into, because it's fun to train the things you're good at, or at the places you're good at. If I have a mountain bike track where I perform well and I feel strong, I prefer to go there instead of maybe more technical track, or more track that challenges me both physically and mentally more. So it's easy to as you said, fall into the trap to do, maybe it is the right thing, but at the wrong time, or the wrong thing at the right time. So you don't get the adaptation that is possible if you challenge yourself and get out of this phony trap in some way. And it is hard, but the first thing you need to do is understand that you are in the trap at the first place.
Yeah, and then all this, of course, has a psychological toll as well on people, and it's kind of like when you're constantly in fear of not doing enough yield, or yielding enough. There's some kind, you're always, so to speak, in some kind of psychological debt that, yeah, eats at your soul and makes the sport you love less passionate and entertaining, and a positive factor in your life as well.
Yeah, for sure. And as we already said a lot of times, I think that's something everyone has felt now and then, if not pretty often.
Absolutely, and I think it was Peter Thiel, the tech entrepreneur, that or was it? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think it was Peter who said it's big difference between being effective and being efficient, and this has a little bit implications for both types of yield here, because if you're pressured into doing things that might not be right for you, you're not being effective, because effective is doing the right things. Efficient is doing a thing very good, but that might be the wrong thing. So being efficient isn't always as good as being effective, because it could be better to do the right thing at 80% than doing the wrong thing at 100%. And then on top of that, of course, over doing the things that makes you efficient. So you're not even efficient even anymore, because you're overdoing it. So you have to start with finding out what's right and what's wrong to do, and then do the right amount of the right thing. But unfortunately, I think it's quite common that people are both doing the wrong thing and then doing too much and too hard of too big of a load of that as well. So it's wrong in two senses.
Yeah, let's hope no one does that.
But I think we do. I mean, I think we humans do it all the time. But of course, it doesn't have to be super obvious. It's small things that takes a little bit of your performance as an athlete or as a parent or as a in your career as well. So it doesn't have to have major, because we do these small versions of this all the time, which and that is really difficult to know what is right and what is the right amount of work in that right thing.
But what we do know is that a phony athlete is one who does 100% of the work but receives 0% of the rewards.
Absolutely. And also, I think when you've done 100% of the work, you kind of feel that you deserve the reward. And when it
Yeah,
doesn't come, that's really agonizing, because you've done the work and you feel you deserve the rewards, but still don't get them. So it's once again a double trap, so to speak.
but that's where there is participation medals.
Lucky for us, or
Lucky
me
for
at
us.
least.
Yeah. But how do we break this phony cycle then? At first, we have to like shift, what can you say, the definition of success maybe. And first of all, maybe stop comparing yourself with others, that you are unique, your training are unique, and the requirements that you have are as unique as yourself. And seeing what other does on Strava, or what World Tour Cyclist does on YouTube and their vlogs and stuff like that, that isn't a guaranteed way that you're gonna go the same path, because you don't have the same physiology.
No, and I think personally, I think one of the biggest critiques I have of the whole 10,000 hours of practice, that is some kind of, and that's what needed to reach a top performance level, and that is uh,
Fake news.
that is fake news in the sense that it's not for everybody. There's plenty of people who have reached their potential with 10,000 hours of work, dedicated training, but it's not a guarantee. And I think the spin of that has been a little bit that if you put in that kind of work, it's you deserve the reward, and that's not the case at all, of course. And of course, and then on top of that, you have the comparison that okay, somebody else did that and did well, then that should work for me as well. Well, probably not, because you're not that person.
And the 10,000 hour study, was it Ericsson who published it, I believe, in
Yeah,
Violinist?
yeah.
That
I
was
think there's pretty solid research on it, but it's still not a truth for everybody. It's like always in science, some kind of mean, and of course,
exactly that's the
when it
point I
comes to
was going to make.
top sports, uh, putting on the work is no guarantee at all, because if you don't have the physiological traits that are needed, the genetic setup, it doesn't matter how many hours or how well you train. You're not going to reach you might probably reach your full potential, but that doesn't mean you're going to surpass somebody who has a better genetic setup than you, their full potential.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say with the original study from Ericsson, that it was the mean that was about 10,000 hours. Some of the participants had like 25,000 hours, and some had 3,000 hours and were equally as good. So it
I
is,
think actually the lowest was like 780 hours, something like that.
yeah, and in violinists, so not even in sports, but it has been a normal. Well, you need 10,000 hours to be elite at something. Well, not really, but it's easy to say.
Yeah, and once again, it's when something is that crystal clear and tangible, it is valued very high and seen as a truth more than something that is more abstract.
It is an easy target to have. Like, I need to train 10,000 hours instead of I need to train between 780 and 25,000 hours. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are gonna hit that target.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Then something that more need to be done to like break the phony cycle is trust that yield that maybe is not seen, like recovery, like technical skills training, like hormonal health, or mitochondrial utilization, or growth and stuff like that. Those are very important as well, even if you can't see them in a graph.
Yeah, and trying to just like you said, trust that they are there because we know they are there, but we can't see them, and then but also trying to see some of that, like how many hours I sleep, is a very a clear cut number, and valuing that, and not just valuing your CTL score at the moment. How hard have I been training for the last 6 weeks? Well, how well have you slept for the last 6 weeks, and prioritizing that equally. Because the sleep, of course, is needed if you're gonna adapt to that training. So, and I think a lot of people are undervaluing recovery. So it is more abstract, but the few things that are really objective could be up prioritized and valued higher as well, and focused
That's
on.
why they are sleep scores now at the watches and the whoops
And like we
for better
talked,
and worse.
yeah, we spoke at length of this at a previous episode of interoceptive intelligence. That,
Yeah,
I mean, all these trackers, they are great because they provide a somewhat objective number of something that is otherwise impossible to see, that is really abstract. But so far they are not as reliable as you would hope, which still means you have to go a little bit on feeling as well. But it's a great start.
it is a great start. Exactly.
And then, of course, lastly, when it comes to this, you really have to uh, have a frank conversation with yourself about why you are doing things. Why am I putting in this extra work, or why am I not prioritizing sleep, or why am I not doing this and that? Kind of an audit of yourself and your motives for doing things. And when you know why you're doing things, it's easier to change that behavior if it's a behavior you need to change.
Exactly. Well, that's the phony trap.
FONEY, fear of not enough yield. Don't forget about that.
Exactly. And thank you for listening. We're coming back next week again with a new episode.
Till
Bye.
then, bye.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of the Develop Cycling Training Podcast. For more training tips and deeper dives into performance, you can follow us on Substack and check out our blog on our webpage as well. You can of course follow us on our social medias, Instagram and LinkedIn, and of course Facebook. And if you got any questions or ideas for future topics of the pod, leave a comment below this episode. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening, keep pushing forward, and we'll see you next time.